My name is Andrew, and this is Rogue Wrenching. Well, actually, this is my house. That's in progress that we're trying to build. If you saw the video from last week, you'll see that we've had a whole lot of issues with this. I got screwed by my general contractor. It's a whole story. I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what I've been told, but I don't know if any of that is actually true or legitimate. So let me just tell you guys what I've been told. We didn't make any progress last week. I posted the video, said I hadn't heard from my framing contractor. It was a whole mess. I finally get a hold of my framing contractor on Monday of this past week. So Monday I get a hold of my framing contractor, and he tells me that his guys are going to be out there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, into Saturday if they have to be, okay, to make sure this is done, because my rough-in guys start rough-in Monday morning. So for context, that is tomorrow morning rough-in guys are supposed to start, and you might notice that's not actually going to happen now. We are T-minus 72 days from when my lease expires, and this house has to be done. It's really cold this morning. It is 11 degrees Fahrenheit, and with this brisk wind that we've got, we're at a wind chill of -4. So if you're thinking about moving to Missouri, I highly recommend it. It is a little chilly though, so take that with the appropriate amount of salt. Framing crew was supposed to be here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I came out Wednesday afternoon, evening, and no material was dropped off, no progress was made, like nothing happened. Thursday morning, I start blowing up my framing contractor's phone because he just doesn't answer his phone, which it just seems like if you run a business, you could answer your phone. And that's kind of my frustration there, is like, just communicate with me. And I blow up his phone Thursday morning. I call this guy a bunch. I blow his phone up, right? We end up talking around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He tells me that his lumber mill, so the trusses were built by Midwestern Truss, I believe is who made the trusses. I custom ordered those. Just a snafu is why I had to order the trusses myself. But all of the lumber that you see out here, all the stuff that makes up all these exterior walls, that's all milled in-house by my framing company. So they have their own mill and they do that themselves in-house. Anyways, so I talked to him on Thursday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he tells me that the mill burnt down. Like, the mill caught on fire and burnt to the ground in the wee hours of Thursday morning. He said he got the call from the fire department about 4:45 in the morning, and the mill burnt down. So is that the truth? Is that not the truth? I would have thought that I would be able to independently verify that. According to my framing contractor, that mill is located 20 to 30 minutes northwest of Carthage, Missouri, somewhere near somewhere near the Kansas-Missouri state line, up kind of by Shawnee Trails recreation area. If anybody knows anything or can do any research into that, this fire allegedly occurred January 14th, I believe, 14th or 15th. They're 35 minutes from the nearest fire station, and so they got one fire engine that responded, and all that fire engine was able to do was put some water on the exposures, so all of the things around the fire that could catch on fire to like minimize spread, put water on the exposures, and then watched it burn, basically, is all that happened. So they lost a few $100,000 of raw material, they lost the building, they lost all the equipment in the building, a couple pieces of equipment around the building. Like, it was a mess, which, like, okay, I get it. Like, that's a big deal. That's the biggest piece of your world. And that's fine, right? But then it just seems ridiculous to me that there's nobody who can call me. But the thing is, like, the guy that I'm dealing with is company owner / operations manager, right? He's up here. The framing crews are over here. So why can't this guy, like, if this guy's busy and tied up, why is my house still not being built? And that's my frustration, right? Because communication. Oh, you thought that was bad. This is just the beginning. Like, it gets more insane, which is actually crazy to say out loud, because I didn't think that it was possible to make this story more crazy, but it gets crazier. Wednesday, nothing gets done. So when nothing gets done, I call him Thursday. I talk to him. Mill burnt down. We're really sorry. Guys will be there with a crane tomorrow, because as you might notice, there's a gap kind of up over in this vicinity here. That is the 4 trusses. We've got a couple way down over here on the back that are still broken, that need to be fixed from when we had the trusses collapse. And so we had to bring a crane in to reset those trusses. Anyways, crane, guys, work. Yeah, that's what's going to happen Friday. Okay, so I end up getting off work a little bit early on Friday afternoon, and I drive out here. I get out here about 3:30, 3:45 in the afternoon, and I show up, and nothing's been done. There's no material on site. There's no repairs that have been done to the trusses. There's no, like, nothing has changed. So I start blowing his phone up. because like this is actually insane. Like this has to be done. I'm paying an ungodly amount of money for this work to be done. It has to be done. He finally calls me back around 4 o'clock. So 20-ish minutes later, he says, hey man, I'm really sorry. I was actually in a literal cave. We're doing this project for this client, and it's like in a cave. Like it's legitimately underground, phone doesn't work. I'm like, okay. Like every time there's been an issue, there's been like, okay, it kind of makes sense. I can see it, right? It's like, is this guy completely lying to me? Maybe, but it just seems like he's not. But I don't know. Anyways, so he's like, I was in a cave, whatever. And I was like, okay, dude, well, what happened? Because you told me that tomorrow, or yesterday, when I talked to you, you told me that Friday morning, guys were going to show up and we were going to get stuff actually done. And we did not. So like, what the heck happened? This is the crazy part. Like this is I could not have imagined that this would, oh my gosh, I can't even handle this. According to my framing contractor, which I am still waiting on some third-party verification. This is actually legit, but the data suggests that it is. According to my framing contractor, the crane and his framing crew showed up Friday morning at about 9 o'clock in the morning, which, why are you there at 9 o'clock? Like, come on guys, let's get going a little earlier in the morning. Anyways, I digress. They showed up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and there's a guy parked out next to my house in a bright blue F-250 late model. And he tells the crane and the framing guys when they show up, he says, you are not allowed to be here. You need to leave this property immediately or I'm calling the cops. And the framing contractor is like, or the team lead, Jeb's the guy's name. So Jeb's like, what? And the guy's like, you guys need to leave right now. If you got a problem with it, you can call Andy. Here's the thing. My name is Andrew. I've never gone by Andy or anything it's always Andrew. It's never Drew. It's never Andy. Like I'm Andrew, not Andy. Nobody calls me that. Additionally, like I would have no reason to turn away my guys from building my actual house, right? Like that's insane. So the framing team lead, Zeb, so a bunch of Amish guys and a crane guy. So somebody snaps a picture of the truck and they leave. For some unknown reason that I cannot fathom, like I cannot imagine this, but nobody calls like the boss, so the guy that I'm talking to at the framing company, owner, operations manager, that guy, Jeb, team lead, that was out here that got turned away by this guy. Nobody calls my guy, Jay, to say, hey man, we got a problem out here. Like nobody calls him. So at 4 o'clock, I'm told, dude in a blue F-250 showed up and turned the guys away. So like I'm going like, what the heck? Like who is this guy? Like, why is he turning my guys away? And like, who the heck is out here on my property? Because like, I don't have any cameras or anything out here, which that's all going to change. We got cameras coming tomorrow because this is like the second or third time that there's been like stuff allegedly done that wasn't done. And then there's some excuse about something that happened here. And so we just need to know what is or is not happening on site when I'm not actually here. So I start calling all of my subs. So I've got like electrician, HVAC, and plumber are all guys that might have reason to be out here during framing before they're actually ready to start, if they're scoping stuff out or taking measurements, whatever. Like that may be a legitimate thing. So I call all of them and they all go, no, we weren't out there and we don't have a blue truck. And also like, why on earth would they want to slow down when they can make money? So like, obviously none of my subs did it. So I go, okay, well, I wonder if it's possible there's a logical explanation for this. So I start calling my neighbors, right? So I'm talking to all the neighbors. I end up getting in contact with a couple of neighbors that I hadn't met before. So if nothing else, I got to meet more neighbors, and that's a win because like the whole idea of living here is like homesteading and living in the community. And so now we're getting to meet more like immediate members of the community. Like that's a net positive. I'm happy with that. I'm not happy my house is delayed, but you know, whatever. I talked to all the other people around me, like I got a couple neighbors and I'm like, hey, do you guys have any cameras that see like my driveway or the road like right in front of my house? And I've got one neighbor, the couple neighbors that I was hopeful might have an outside camera that covered my driveway, their cameras don't, which is like great because more privacy for me, but like also because I have no way to verify, was there actually a blue truck? Was the crane actually here? Was the framing crew actually here? Or are you selling me an absolute line of crap? But everybody that I talked to agrees that there's not any blue trucks that live up on my road. My road is not a really busy road. It's a little one-lane back road in Missouri. Like, nobody knows of a blue truck that lives up here or that should be here. So likely whoever this guy was, assuming he's legit, or that the story's legitimate, likely he drove in from somewhere else. But one of the interesting things that I found is the guy that owns the property, like I'm corner locked to this guy's property up kind of that direction. And his name is Andrew. So my name is Andrew, A-N-D-R-E-W. This guy's name is Andrey, A-N-D-R-E-Y. And his lot is an empty lot. He's working on developing that lot. And I think what happened, and I'm still trying to verify this because allegedly Framing Crew took a picture of the truck that was here on my property that sent them away. And once I get that, I'm gonna send it to a couple of neighbors and see if they recognize it. I think the problem was whoever guy in the blue truck was supposed to be on Andrew's property and not my property. And dude, the amount that these trusses creak in the wind is unsettling. Like, they've been standing for 2 weeks. I don't think they're actually gonna fall, but the whole thing like creaks and shifts, and it's a little unnerving. So if we catch this building collapsing on me on video in full 4K stunning HD, that would be incredible. Let's please not do that. I don't need that. I think what happened is that this guy was supposed to be on Andrew's property, and there shouldn't have been anybody else on Andrew's property, and so he's on what he thinks is Andrew's property, and people show up and he's like, you ain't supposed to be here because I'm the only one who's supposed to be here. So I think that's what happened. I think that's the logical explanation, but I'm waiting on a picture of the truck, and I talked to Andrew, and he wasn't really sure if there was anybody else that was supposed to be there. It sounds like he owns the property, hired a contractor. That's like a question for the contractor, right? It's like, I got to get him the picture of the truck. He'll send it to his contractor, and we'll see, like, be able to verify if that story is legit. It sounds so insane. I can't imagine that someone would have just like made it up and just made it. It's like it's a whole lie. So I don't know, but I have not seen the picture of the blue truck, and because, as you saw in the last video, we had 5 inches of snow last week. That snow has been slowly melting off over the last week. So there's a certain amount of snow melt, and I know how much snow melt would have been here on Friday, and so it would be really hard to fake it. Like, you couldn't bring a blue truck in today, take a picture, and go, oh yeah, that was the picture from last week, like, because there's not snow on the ground, right? Like that, if we can get a picture, that will verify that the story is true. So like I said, I talked to him on Friday, and he tells me this, and I was like, I don't know who this guy is or what, but like, we need to keep going. And I'm like, why didn't you call me? Like, all this stuff. Anyway, so I talked to him on Friday, and he said, well, I said, what is our schedule? Because Ruffin starts Monday. What are we doing to make sure that we are, I know we've missed that target, right? We can't get a crane until Monday morning. Like, I get that. But what are we doing to get, like, as close to Monday as far as a finish date as possible? I am told material drop will happen Saturday. Guys will be there first thing Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning. There's no material drop. There's no guys here working. It's just me freezing my tail off, making a video. So, where's my framing contractor? Is my framing contractor lying to me? Or is this legitimately the most insane drama that has ever happened? Like, am I just a drama magnet? Maybe. I don't know. So, that's where we're at. I legitimately have, I don't even know what to say. Am I being lied to? I don't know. I'm a firm believer that you shouldn't attribute anything to malice that can be attributed to incompetence. I'm just starting to doubt that. But then, like, okay, assuming that the guys are telling the truth and there was a blue truck here and he did tell them off or whatever, but like why wouldn't you just call me, right? Like, why not? Why don't I get that call? Like, immediately, guys, come on, like, immediately call me. But then it's like, okay, blue truck guy could have been just incompetent, not malicious. Like, he could have just been incompetent and been in the wrong spot. And if he's sent out to a property, he shows up on that property, he's told nobody else is supposed to be there, and then all of a sudden guys show up, he's like, you guys can't be here. I'm the only one who's supposed to be here. Like, that could make sense. I don't know. I would like to think the best of this framing contractor, but also it has been months at this point, months of delay. My patience is wearing thin, but it's like, what do I even do? I have a contract with this company. They have a 65% deposit. They've done 15, maybe 20% of the work that they've been contracted to do. So even if I could find somebody else and hire somebody else, I'm not going to get my, like, I don't have the budget to pay for framing twice. So I just need this company to do their job and finish framing this house so that my Ruffin, like, this ball has to keep rolling, and we have been stalled in this phase for weeks. And that is incredibly frustrating. That's all I really have to say on the subject. It's really cold, and my face is starting to go numb. And if you want to see this journey on this whole thing that we're doing with the homestead and the house build and all of that, make sure you subscribe so that you can see these new videos when they come out. Share this with your friends if you know anybody in Southwest Missouri, specifically in the like northwest of Carthage space, somewhere up like across the state line from Pittsburgh, Kansas, Shawnee Trail area. If you know anybody up in that area that is on or involved in a fire department who might be able to verify whether or not there was a sawmill that burnt down Thursday morning, that would be great. Feel free to shoot me an email. My email's over on my channel page, and you can find that there. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'm gonna wrap this one up here. It's freezing cold. We'll see you guys in the next video.